Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
Coming up, we're going to talk with the Domino's High School Player of the Year. Big kid, huh?
Yeah, huge kid.
Quarterback.
Big hands.
6'3", 200-pound senior.
Kids are different these days the way they're growing now, man.
It's crazy.
God.
Out of Gainesville. And this kid's really good.
That's probably why you can't beat him.
Yeah. It's a good point. We're going to talk with him and his coach, Deshaun Watson, and his coach, Bruce Miller, coming up.
Atlanta Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
Atlanta, you're in the game.
I love having you guys on the air, man. I mean, I can actually drive around the outer perimeter and actually hear Sports Talk Radio.
Thanks for listening, Atlanta. And tell everyone you know, this is the only Atlanta sports station you can call 24 hours a day, because we're live and local around the clock.
Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. Carl Dukes, Cordell Stewart. It's game time. Glad to have you listening to Atlanta Sports Radio. It's our pleasure to welcome into the studio our Domino's High School Player of the Year. And he's a special young man. His coach is here as well, Bruce Miller, coach of Gainesville High School. Now, they did not win the state championship, but they came close. And, Coach, it's good to have you in. Obviously, Deshaun Watson is a special player. He's committed already to college, which we're going to talk with him about. But I want to say hello to Coach Bruce Miller first. And, Coach, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having us, guys. I really appreciate it.
You guys had a wonderful season. Tell us about the Domino's High School Player of the Year. This is obviously a special award. This young man put up amazing stats. He was an Under Armour All-American game selection, threw for over 3,500 yards, 40-some-odd touchdowns. He's meant a lot to your program.
Oh, he's leaving in 2 weeks, and I'm starting to cry already. 16,000 yards of offense. He rushed for over 4,000 and threw for right at 13,000. So just did an incredible job. His freshman year's the only time he rushed for under 1,000 yards.
And by the way, this segment is brought to you by your locally owned Domino's restaurants. And Deshaun, I want to obviously say congratulations to you. It's an amazing award, but you guys came up a little short, obviously, of your goal, which is a state championship, but congratulations on a wonderful season.
Thank you so much.
Well, tell us about what you do at quarterback. You're big, 6'3". Cordell and I were outside. Cordell shook your hand. Now, he played in the National Football League, and he said, big hands.
Right,
you get that a lot?
Yes, sir. I get that all the time.
You obviously enjoy the position. You're going to what school?
Clemson University.
Taj Boyd's there now. He's had a wonderful career. You're going to step in there and run, Coach Dabo Swinney's offense, and I know you're excited about that. Did you go on your how many times have you already been to Clemson? Obviously, you've been on your official visit.
I've been on my official, but I've been there over 50 times.
What made you choose Clemson?
Just, the program, the community. It's close to home, and the offense they run, and it just fits me very well.
Well, I think you're going to be great in that offense. I was talking to Coach about it. I said, they're going to run a similar style offense of what they've been running, and he said, absolutely. Coach, does he fit that mode?
Perfect. They couldn't have recruited a more perfect person to come into Taj Boyd's what he's done with it, and he's the same type of quarterback. He's number one dual threat in the country right now as high school quarterbacks.
Wow. Deshaun, tell us the process. I'm more than sure, as we talked out before we came on, you mentioned that there were so many schools that wanted to give you the opportunity. One, did you go on any visits to other schools to give yourself an opportunity to do the plus and minuses or the pros and cons of other places compared to your perfect place, which is Clemson? And do you really feel in your heart, with all the other things you've seen around the country, that you picked the perfect place for you?
First, I went to go. I brought my school down to top 5 schools, and that was Clemson, Georgia, Auburn, Oregon, and Ohio State. And so, I visit those schools and see which ones was the best fit for me. And it came down to Clemson, and I think Clemson over the years are coming up, and I think we can compete for a national championship over my 4 years up there. So I think Clemson is coming up real strong.
Coach, you taught him well. He's already talking national championship yet, and he hadn't even left. He hadn't even left you yet, Coach. You taught him well. Coach, tell me, how has the process been for you? Because you had Deshaun for the 4 years. You've seen him grow into being a young man that he is right now. How has the process been for you when it came to other schools, institutions, trying to lure him in to come to their institution and saying, we have everything he needs, but he ends up choosing Clemson?
It's been absolutely crazy. It's amazing, the recruiting process, what goes on behind scenes that some people don't know. I'll tell this story on Deshaun. He went and took a visit to Auburn without telling me, and it was like, it was amazing the number of phone calls that I got asking me if he was at Auburn, and I didn't know it. Wow. And he confided in me the next day, and so I told him, I said, you get in the background and let me put out the fires. And I was Smokey the Bear for about 3 days. Yeah. ESPN, you name it, was calling, saying, what's he doing at Auburn? And I knew he was going to Clemson. I knew he was just trying to look around and to look around. He'd not seen a whole lot, but it's the recruiting. People have no idea how crazy it is and what goes on behind the scenes.
We're talking with Coach Bruce Miller of Gainesville High School. His quarterback, Deshaun Watson, is our Domino's High School Player of the Year, brought to you by your locally owned Domino's restaurants. Carl Dukes, Cordell Stewart. This is Game Time on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. What is your best, I guess, high school achievement, the thing you're most proud of leaving Gainesville High School?
Probably just winning a state championship for the first time for the Gainesville High program. Being the first quarterback to ever do that. We've been playing football over 100 years, so having that accomplishment means a lot. And also breaking the Georgia State career passing record, having over 13,000 yards is a great accomplishment too.
Yeah, that is amazing. Now you break that record. What'd you do the night you found out? What, it was a game night? You break the record. What'd you do that night? You broke the record. Now what'd you do?
Well, actually, it was the state championship last year. So the first drive, we broke it, and then they took the game ball and hit it for me. And that night we won the state championship, and I just spent the night with my family and celebrated for the next couple of weeks.
Any crazy recruiting stories? I know Coach is alluding to a little one, but come on. I mean, crazy phone calls, text. I mean, the times from Cordell being recruited, and certainly when I was in school, has changed, and the technology's changed. You got one that you can share? No names, but just, you know what? This was absolutely crazy. You got one of those stories?
I'd probably say the one Coach Miller brought up was the craziest.
With Auburn?
Yeah. I didn't expect it to get that wild. I was just going on a visit without telling anyone. I just woke up one morning and was like, hey, Coach.
Road trip.
Yeah, I'm going down to Auburn. And so I went down there, and then, I just started getting phone calls, and I didn't really answer them until he called me. And then, the next day I let him know, and everything went from there.
Deshaun, what's your ultimate goal? Obviously, you want to go to Clemson and have success, but, I mean, do you see yourself one day potentially playing in the National Football League?
I do. I see myself playing, having a long career in the National Football in the lead and, just taking care of my family. But if not, I really want to get my degree in communications or business, and owning my own program and, just having a successful career.
Deshaun, you obviously not obviously, but you were a basketball player.
I was.
Stand out in basketball. Maintain a GPA of 3.48, which is rounded up. I like to round things up. 3.5. Sounds better. With all that success and things that you're capable of doing, I mean, the sky's the limit for you. What do you think you need to improve on? Whether it's in basketball, of course, you're getting your scholarship for football. But I'm more than sure you may ask your coach, can you play basketball? Because there are some players that actually, like Jameis Winston, he's a baseball player as well. I mean, there's two sports athletes. What do you feel you need to improve on to better yourself? It's hard to say to better yourself as a student athlete at 3.5. Right. You can always go to a 4.4 if you want to. But what do you feel you need to improve on when it comes to your game?
Just becoming more of a vocal leader and, being more accurate and trusting my linemen in the pocket. And, I want a lot of people see me as just a running quarterback. I can throw a little bit, but, I want to prove folks that, I can sit back there and throw the ball. I don't have to run every time. So that's what I really want to improve on.
But I'll say this, Deshaun, and allow me to not ask a question but make a statement. That's what's gotten you to this point. That progress and that process will evolve over time. Don't change to prove anything to anyone. Right. Just allow the process itself to enhance your capabilities of going to the next level.
Yes, sir.
Because there's been many quarterbacks in the National Football League try to prove people wrong and end up playing behind the 8 ball and not being yourself.
Right.
Just be you. Allow the coaches around you to teach you. and just allow that to just happen. Coach Bruce has taken you from being a freshman to a senior, and you've evolved from that point until today, right?
Right.
So allow that same thing to happen. And when it's time for you to be just a pocket passer, in certain games, you'll have to be. But other games, those little things you got down there, those big planks you got there below your ankles, they may need to be used at times. So you're okay. Just let the process take over.
Yes,
Coach,
sir.
thank you for coming. Obviously, Deshaun Watson, our Domino's High School Player of the Year. Congratulations, and we'll be watching you,
Yes,
all right?
sir.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Absolutely. We're coming back. We're going to go around the SEC here on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.